Good morning, ladies and gents. Sorry I'm late. It's just that I had a bit of a problem this morning, and well, there I am anyway. I've got to bring right away Leon, the vase of flowers, as he's known, and also if he's there, I'm awfully sorry about this, JK. Yeah, I think I've got
Hello
you.
there, bro.
Oh, hiya, JK. So sorry I'm late.
No problem, bro. No problem. Things happen. All right, Lee.
Yeah,
Hope you're well, man.
Hi,
yeah,
Jay.
good.
That's good.
And there's Lee. You're okay, Lee?
Yeah, sounds, yeah.
All right then. And I don't know if we'll have anyone here, but anyway, let's just get on with this and sort out what we've been watching, what we've watched, what we've well advised people to watch, advised people not to watch, if you know what I mean. And I'm sorry about it. It's just. I just had something going on, this morning, and well, anyway, here I am, and there you are, Lee. There you are, JK.
Frank, I've just
Yeah.
had an amazing feat of memory. Remember I told you about the Chilean TV drama that was
Yes,
set
yeah,
in the modern era. I've remembered
yeah,
its name. It was called Fugitives. It's set in the modern era.
yeah.
I've just looked it up on Google. I remembered the name Fugitives. It was between 2011 and 2013 it ran. I seen it in about 2017, 2016, before I had the internet. It's set in
Okay.
the modern era. They're working for a drug cartel. And these two fellas, throughout the series, they know each other, but they can't place each other. And then one of them has a flashback, and he works out the other one tortured him years ago in the 80s. The other one worked for Pinochet, and he tortured this other one for Pinochet, because the other one was a socialist, like in the 70s and 80s, and the other one had tortured him, and he got flashbacks to it. Dead good series, Fugitives, HBO, Latin America, great series. It's got everything in
Well,
it.
well, anything with HBO is
Mm.
bound to be good because they just do quality stuff. Whether it's a film or especially TV series. And the
Yeah.
first time I ever looked at HBO was through The Sopranos, and that was the best gangster series ever,
Yeah.
ever. It was very magnetic. It had you drawn, and you wanted to see more. Absolutely brilliant series, and that was the first time I was ever introduced to HBO. What about you, JK? What series or film stands out for you?
Yeah, it's like with HBO when The Sopranos used to start. They used to have this like a noise when they used to. The sign of HBO comes on the screen. They had this sort of noise. I can't exactly remember the noise, but then
Yeah,
it just got me into Sopranos. I thought it was very realistic of how life would be in that situation.
yeah.
But for me, yeah, The Sopranos is number one, and I love James Gandolfini. He's got the same birthday as me, and
Really?
yeah. So I was just
Um,
like, I was really disappointed when he passed away all of a sudden.
yeah. He went over to see his relatives who still lived in Naples,
Uh-huh.
and he was just there, and
It was a
he
great
just
cast,
passed away.
wasn't it?
Sorry.
It was a great cast. The entire cast was great, wasn't it, in The
Oh,
Sopranos?
yeah.
Absolutely brilliant, but it disappointed me at the very end. It disappointed me because it went a little bit silly,
Mm.
to be honest. And you just see it. I'll never forget the very last episode where you see, his family, just his family, immediate family. His son, his daughter, and
Yeah,
obviously his wife sitting in a restaurant, and they're waiting to be wiped out.
yeah.
Yeah, but each one played their role top level
Yeah,
there. Yeah. And I think James Gandolfini, after he stopped the Sopranos, he did a few films, did one with Brad Pitt and such, and then he started making documentaries about war veterans and stuff. And
Yes, he did.
yeah, and I was thinking he's pinpointing certain facts in these documentaries, and certain people ain't gonna like that. So I was just like, yeah, I think he had a good heart. I don't know what it is about the guy. I just liked him when I seen his face. He just felt like, he's like one of your uncles or something.
Yeah.
Type of
And
guy.
they were about to make a film as well, you know. They were about to make a film, and they reckoned that it was going to be a fantastic film. The script was written, everything. And unfortunately, James Gandolfini, as you said, JK, he just passed on. And we've got a comment that's keep it level. All right, Frankie boy. And the main man, Liverpool Lee. The main man, Lee. Yes, cracking. Anyway, good morning, keep it level.
Do you know what was really noticeable about The Sopranos was how flippant they were about killing people. Like when Paulie and Christopher killed that. When Paulie killed that waiter who come out and complained that they hadn't tipped him. Remember that? And just like the way they just kill someone and then laugh about it, you couldn't. I don't know what it says about me, but sometimes you couldn't help laughing the way they laugh about it. Like they just make, and it's like that in gangster films as well, isn't it? Like because they've done it so many times, it's nothing to them.
It's nothing, no.
But sometimes it's a real person. It's not another gangster. This guy was a waiter, and they hadn't tipped him, and he come out into the car park to complain, saying there was no tip. And I think Paulie pushed him or something, and he banged his head and was like having a fit, so he just shot him. And they didn't laugh, but then when later on they mentioned it, and it was just a really weird scene.
But when you see those, those graphic murders, shall we say, did you ever notice how they got rid of them as well? They used to bring them to like a very small butcher's and go in the back. Yeah, and get rid of them that way. Which is very graphic anyway. Very graphic. I'll tell you what, I watched the first, I didn't think it was fun. I watched the very first Pink Panther, with Peter Sellers.
Yeah.
The very first one. And it was
I've got it recorded. I'll have to watch it before it goes off.
Yeah, honestly, it's so funny. And when you see him, and he goes, Caruso goes to this fella, who he suspects of being the thief. And he's playing billiards. It's so funny. It's just a so funny scene. I'll tell you another film which is brilliantly acted, and it's hardly ever mentioned. It's on a few years ago, obviously. With Orson Welles, Michael Hordern, Margaret Rutherford, Liz Taylor, Richard Burton, Louise Jourdan. There's loads in it, absolutely loads in it, and it's called The VIPs, and it's about an airport. There's comedy in it, and there's drama in it. Obviously, you've got the likes of Burton and Taylor who give out the dramatic part of the film, and the rest, it's just brilliant. Orson Welles is absolutely an amazing character. It's fantastic. And my advice is, to many people out there who like films and who like the likes of these, see, I'll just give you a very small synopsis. You see people congregating obviously at the airport, and they're all flying off somewhere. They're all flying off. I think they're flying to New York. Anyway, you see them all there, and fog descends, and it gets delayed, the flight. But you see the character of Liz Taylor and Richard Burton, and they're man and wife. But he doesn't know, Burton doesn't know that she's actually leaving him to meet up with another fella who's there, and that's Louis Jourdan, you know, the French actor. So anyway, that's their particular thing. You've got who's a director, a big director, who's Orson Welles, and it's so funny. Orson Welles is absolutely, he's trying to get out of the country for tax reasons, and he's got this funny like German accent, and he's like that. I am British. Yes, I am British, and he's talking to his little like producer or assistant, and he said, "You non-British, you stand over there in that queue. We British, we're all right, we're over here." And he's trying to get out, you know, for tax purposes. But that's the way the film is. It's brilliant. Yeah. And Michael O'Dane is the chief of, you know, the whole of the airport, and he's being harassed by loads of people, you know, about the delay, and people who are wanting to get it. Tell you who else is in it? Rod, what's his name? Not Rod Steiger, the Australian actor, Rod. He was in the Time Machine. He was in the. Doesn't matter anyway, but he's in it. And Maggie
Taylor.
Smith.
Rod Taylor. Rod Taylor.
Rod Taylor. Thank you, JK.
Nice one, Jay.
JK. Thank you so much. But you know, this is the way it is. This is the way it is. You know, these particular films that you.
Wasn't any Orson Welles, and he's brilliant, Orson Welles. I love A Touch of Evil, where he's the corrupt sheriff. I like that.
Yeah.
Great one.
Well, you know, when you look at Orson, I think he was one of the greatest actors of all time. I really do.
Great director, but he was hard to work with, wasn't he? He was hard to work with, and that made it. It just meant that he didn't make many films, like, because he was so hard to work with for studios. He wanted things done the way he wanted them, and that he didn't want to compromise. That meant he didn't make many films, which was sad, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was very sad. What about you, JK? What's one of your favourite films that you've seen?
I would have to say Donnie Brasco.
Donnie Brasco.
Yeah.
Brilliant film, yeah.
What a film. I liked it because he didn't portray Pacino in his normal role. He played a bit of a lower role, but he was the main actor in the film. And I just liked the way the hustle and the way they were just living life in America at that time, you know. And it's a bit of a deep, it's a true story as well. That's another reason why I like films that have got a background, like true stories, like Goodfellas, Donnie Brasco, you know, them type of films. Yeah. So you can learn something from it as well, you know. But for me, Donnie Brasco, each actor played his role. Like you had the two Sunny guys, Sunny Black and I think it was Sunny Red. But they played the role, and I think was it Sunny, the big guy, Sunny Black or Sunny Red, I can't remember. He was in one of Michael Jackson's music videos as well.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, for me, Donnie Brasco is my favorite, I would say.
Wasn't Johnny Depp in there? Was it Johnny Depp? Johnny Depp.
Yeah, he played the main role of the guy who was telling the story, and it was good to see him. Like for me, Johnny Depp is like talented. He can play every role, you know.
Yeah, of course. I'll tell you another one that you would have liked if you like those type of true stories. Serpico.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love
Al
Serpico.
Pacino again. Al Pacino. He's one of my favourite actors, is Pacino. But have you ever noticed in every film he does, every film he shouts?
Mm-hmm.
He just shouts. He shouts in every film. For some reason, he just shouts. And I tell you, another great actor who runs in every film is Dustin Hoffman. Dustin Hoffman runs in every film that you see him in for some reason. I don't think it's in the script. I think he just does it anyway. But I like Hoffman. I like Pacino. You know, anything. I'll tell you another actor who I think he's retired now anyway. Who was, you know, you can guarantee that it'll be a good film, and that's Robert Redford. Robert Redford has made some fantastic films, and I think he's a great actor, you know, Robert Redford. And I think he's retired now. He's retired. But you know, one of the great films, iconic films, is the Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance
You know
Kid.
what? That's one of those films that I've only ever seen it like once or twice. It's not a film I'm massively familiar with, even though it's like a massive film. I'm not like dead familiar with it. It's just one I've never come across a lot of times. Butch Cassidy.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've watched it a few times, you know, because when you get the likes of Redford and Paul Newman, they've got great chemistry between them. That's why, you know, they were paired up on a couple of other occasions. The likes of the Sting, for example. The Sting, you know,
Yeah,
another
I
film.
love that.
You know, so that's what you had, the you know, the connection there.
Do you want me to tell you about the one I've just been watching? I haven't quite finished it. I've got about 40 minutes left. It's an Icelandic one. It's called Beautiful Beings. It's about bullying. It's not just bullying. It's like delinquency in general, like for teenagers. There's this young lad called Bally. He's being bullied in school. He's getting battered by a couple of different gangs of lads. And one of the gangs of lads that's battering him, they get him on the floor and they are giving him a good kicking and a punching, not in the face, but on the like back of the head, not his back. And then like a couple of days later, he gets hit in the face by them with something like a steel thing. And when you see him again, he's got like a face mask on, you know, like they wear in footy, because they really hit his nose badly. But anyway, one of the lads invites him to start hanging round with them. And in the synopsis, it says, like, you know, why does this lad ask him to start hanging round with him? Now, I haven't got to the end yet. But they start going to his house, this young lad, Bally, and there's no one there. The mother's not really there. His father's dead, and he's got a stepfather, but there's hardly anyone there. And they say, "What's wrong with your eye?" He's got a glass eye. His stepfather's shot one of his eyes out with a pellet gun. Apparently, the stepfather didn't know it was loaded, and shot it at him, and one of his eyes come out when he was 4 years old. And he's got a glass eye. And where I've just got up to, the stepdad's just got home, and the mother, and he's shaking and that. He's having a ciggy with one of the other lads by the lake, and you can tell he's petrified of this stepdad. He's a great big bastard with a beard. There's loads of fighting in it. The battering these other lads, like, so it's not just bullying. It's like it is fights between. They're about.
Well, that's JK. He just comes up. I just want to tell us about the whole of the film. But I don't like films where there's bullying, you know, JK. How about you?
Can you repeat that? Sorry, Frank.
I'm just saying, you know, Lee's talking about a film that he's been watching. He hasn't watched the end of it yet, he said. And he thinks that it's good, an Icelandic film, but it's about bullying. It's about bullying. Listen, JK, there's a comment up there, and it's from Norman, right? And open there's fog on the Tyne tonight for Manchester City. Have you ever seen that film before?
No.
And you know what? This is you know that some of the some of the names that people give themselves, for purposes really. It's like Lee gives himself the vase of flowers, and there's keep it level, right? And he said, we're on as well. Now Norman is using his wife's or his daughter's thing, whatever it is they use, It's like me, I'm using this with my own bloody name, to be honest. And keep it level says, good morning, Jan. And it's Norman. Absolutely amazing. We've got Lee back, I think.
Didn't have my computer plugged in. I thought I had it plugged in, but it didn't, and the power went off.
Well, there you go. Just saying there, Lee.
Yeah.
Norman says, open this fog on the Tyne for Manchester City tonight and keep it level. He says, good morning, Gan. And it's not Anne, it's Norman, because he's using his wife or daughter's thing, to get on. But anyway.
I thought it was plugged in, but it wasn't.
Joe Linton's out.
And I was telling you about that film. The young lads invited into the gang, and they have fights and that, like. But the stepdad's back now, and you can see the young lads petrified of him. But the other lads have all got problems. The one who's the hard knock in the gang, he gets battered by his dad, but you don't see it, but you know it. Like one of the other lads says it. But he's big. The one with the one eye, he's a little skinny thing. He's like I was skinny when I was a kid. He's a little skinny thing. The other one who's like the talker in the gang that you find things out from. His dad's always away working, and he's got some sort of problems. It's a good film. I haven't got long of it to go. If I would have known we were starting late, I could have finished it and told you what.
Well, what's the film called?
Beautiful Beings. It's Icelandic.
Yeah, okay.
It's probably there now. If you've got Film 4, you can get it on Film 4 catch up.
Yeah.
It's good, yeah. You remember I was telling you about the Lebanese one? It's similar again. Comparing them. That was, but he was, that kid Zane, he was 12 years old, and he took his parents to court after he got jailed, for delinquency.
Yeah.
And that was dead funny though, because he was his dad, like in the Muslim family, in the Muslim culture, family's dead important, isn't it? And the father was going, why did I have children? You have cursed me. You have cursed me. And all that, looking up to the sky. He's sitting in court.
You should be on stage.
Yeah.
You should be on stage with that, the accents and everything.
I felt sorry for the mother, because the mother looked dead shamefaced while he was saying this. And the judge was like going, quiet, and all this, like. And but that was a good film. But you know what? I didn't finish it, and it deleted itself before I watched the end, because I spend so much time online typing now. I didn't watch the end of Capernaum, the Lebanese film. I had about half an hour to go, and the bloody thing deleted itself, because when you record off Film 4, they delete, you'll have it like for about a month. So you don't watch it, it just deletes. And I looked before, and you have to buy it from Sky Store. It's gone off Film 4 now.
Okay.
That'll teach me to finish films, but I got most of it.
Yeah, I'm glad you got most of it, Lee, because you were going on.
Yeah, you wanted to know what films, comparing them,
No,
even though I didn't see the ends, comparing them, Delinquency in Lebanon, Beautiful Beings, Delinquency in Iceland, Teenage Boys, Delinquent. Well, Zane was 12, but, you know, Schoolboys, Delinquency.
well, anyway, yeah, and he's going now. He's got annoyed because he hasn't finished the film.
Go for a way.
He's got to go watch it.
It's just going on. Anyway, yeah, Norman says, Frank, my daughter is a singer and songwriter. She has recorded LA, LA and Virgil's song on her channel, Becca Music. If you have time, please take a look. Yeah, I'll take a look at that, Norman. It's football related. That's football related, you know. And there's nothing better than LA, LA, is there really? And the Virgil song, let's be honest. What do you think, JK? Becca Music, you know, this is what.
Yeah, I produce music myself. I love music.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I've been producing for many years. Film music, being creative. That's why I played the 10 role on the pitch. Yeah. I would have been the assist king in the Premier League, I think, if I got. Yeah. What I love about
Sorry, JK. Go on.
No, I was just gonna say, it's like when you look at life, if you can create something out of nothing, and that's what music is, and say food, football, it's amazing feeling, you know.
Yeah, it just shows you, you know, the backgrounds of people, and you don't know their background. And it comes as a complete surprise of what people actually do. It's just like you know. It's just like you, JK, saying that you produce music and you have been for years. And it's just surprised me, you know. It's like a show.
Can you just give me a moment, please? Yeah.
Was that a phone or something then going on? No. But anyway, you know, it's like myself. You know, people don't know about me. And what about you, Lee? Have you got some sort of background? You know, like JK there, who produces music.
Me, no.
No, just an ordinary supporter, just an ordinary Liverpool supporter, a big red, who just goes on and you know, likes films and things.
I'm pleased if I remembered the name of that series, Fugitives, the Chilean one, because it was really good. It annoyed me that I couldn't remember the name, but it was nearly 10 years ago when I seen it. It was before I had the internet when I seen that.
Yeah. No, there are some, you know, very, very good foreign films.
Yeah. Well, HBO, innit? HBO Latin America. When I seen it was HBO, I thought that's a guarantee of quality. Usually HBO, like like Senor Avia, the Mexican hitman one I told you about. That's HBO Latin America. That's a good one.
Yeah, the French do some very good films. They do some.
Betty Blue, the Three Colors trilogy: 3 colors blue, 3 colors red, 3 colors white.
Well, anyway, what I was about to say
was you
never let me finish. So
you started it.
No, I didn't.
You said films.
Anyway, I forget. I was just going to say about the likes of Catherine Deneuve, the likes of Gerard Depardieu, you know, these great actors. And they've done some fantastic French films, really, really good. And if you look now, you know, modern day films, there's hard hitting ones about shall I call them, ghettos in the likes of Marseille, for example, and the likes of Paris itself. Very hard hitting, about drug lords and
Yeah.
murderers, so they do that. But I seen a film, not a film, a TV series, and it was an Anglo-French one, and I think it's top notch. And there's only I think there's about 8 episodes, and I only like series like that to start and get to the end rather than go on for series like season 1, season 2, and all that nonsense. Just get to the point of it. And it was called Spotless. 2 French actors, perfect English, and it was absolutely brilliant. Spotless, it was called. I think that was a Netflix series. I think it was anyway. Well, anyway, I'll just go. There's a few comments here. Norman says she plays the guitar and keyboard, and hang on, where am I? He also says, I go most home games, Frank, but in June, my wife and daughter are going to a concert in Liverpool. We are staying overnight, but I'm not attending the concert, so I would love to meet you. Well, yeah, that'll be no problem. See, June's a funny month. I don't know whether I'll be away, be at home. But yeah, Norman, absolutely, we could easily meet up and meet the likes of Lee as well, who's probably, and a few others. That'll be nice to meet you all, and in the flesh, as they say. In the flesh, as they say. Mark Simon says, when Kubrick did Spartacus, he came in 4 weeks before the production and didn't even want his name attached to the film because he felt he didn't have enough time to do the material justice, the justice it deserved. I think that's great, because Kubrick is one of the greatest of all directors. And that's a very good point, because people who do come in, it's like actors as well, taking over certain actors or whatever, to do their role because something had happened on set. They could have had an accident, they could have died, unfortunately. And that's what they say as well. Like, I think when Oliver Reed died in Gladiator, he died, and he just had a stand-in. And you couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah.
The way, I forget who directed it, and that was Gladiator. I don't know about you, JK, but Gladiator was one. You know that I lectured about, the Roman Empire, and I won't watch anything that's going to be fictionalized. A true, like anything true that's going to be fictionalized, I won't watch it because it's the way I am. It's the way I am, and I hadn't watched it for a number of years, to be honest. I said I wouldn't watch it. I say no, because Maximus was a fictionalized character, the main character of the film. And anyway, I seen a former colleague again, who's at the Romans. And I was talking to him. He said, have you seen that film? I said, no. I said, I've never seen it. He said, watch it. I said, no, I won't. He said, and he wouldn't say why, He just said, watch it. Watch it. And I asked him why. And he wouldn't tell me. So I said, okay, I'll watch it. And I was just sitting there one night. Anyway, I went, so I put it on. Now, don't forget, he wouldn't tell me. And he said, watch it. Because he knew that I wouldn't watch anything if there's a fictionalized character. Because I always take that. It's spoiler story or whatever, historical fact. I'll tell you what, it was brilliant. Because that character, that fictionalized character, was pivotal for the story of what, the writer and the director wanted to depict. Because everything around this fictional character was spot on.
Mm-hmm.
Spot on. So, and it was brilliant. And so, I recommended it to people. And you know what? Very rare that I bump into former colleagues. Very rare. And I haven't bumped into them since. And that was about 8 years ago. Longer.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's about 12 years ago. And just to say to them, you were right about Gladiator. And I'm glad that you'd advised me to watch it. Strange, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's Ali Noose. Ali Noose. Hello, good afternoon. It should have been hello, good morning. Hello, Ali. Sorry there. And I'm sorry again to all the people. I'm sorry that I'm late. But anyway, have you ever seen JK? Have you ever seen Gladiator?
Yeah. I watched it a while back. What it is with certain films, I always say, what is right? What did it really happen, or what have they made up?
Yeah.
And I'm a bit like you guys. Maybe I want it to be real. If they tell us at the start of the film, this is history and this is what happened, I want to see them facts in a film. I don't want them to be made up facts, So with a lot of stuff over the years, you'll see loads of films making up stories within the film and stuff like that. I'm thinking, which is the true films, And that's why I stick to the Donnie Brasco's Goodfellas, because more likely it did happen that way. And I've seen interviews with them guys, the main guy from Goodfellas, Ray Latoya's guy. He's talked over the years he had bad alcoholic problems and stuff like this, and you could tell, it happened like that.
I think you're like me then. That's why I wouldn't watch Gladiator.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I thought, even when I seen them, I said, there's never such a fella like him. Never, ever.
Mm-hmm.
The only person, like true person, who's like him, not a fictionalized character, was Spartacus. But that was exaggerated as well. Yeah. That was totally exaggerated, albeit that the story, was more or less true. Because you had the likes of Cassius. Cassius always gave money to the army. If anyone wanted, it was like Caesar, Julius, right? He wanted to invade this country, Britannicus. He wanted to invade it, but you need money to pay the soldiers. So he just asked this fella, and he said, "Yeah, okay, Crassus." So they say Cassius, Crassus. He asked Crassus, and he said, "Yeah, I'll back you. I'll back you." And he backed him to come over here, Caesar. Anyway, that's just the thing. But the likes of Crassus in the film Spartacus was spot on.
What do you think of what do you think of the films after 9/11? How they told the stories of certain people within them films and how they portrayed that day and stuff. Do you think it was spot on, or?
I can't really. What ones were that I've forgotten now?
What's that guy?
Sorry.
Yeah, go on, Frank.
No, there was one with Nicolas Cage.
That's the one, yep.
I don't even think I've seen it.
Look, I'm not being funny here, to our American cousins, but they totally exaggerate their particular, shall we say, heroes You know, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
They exaggerate. So I don't know. You know, there was very brave men, especially from the police and the firefighters at
Yeah.
9/11, because they didn't know what the hell they they just didn't know what happened, if you know what I mean, and how
Yeah.
dangerous it was to go inside or to be on the periphery of these buildings going down. And that's another theory, isn't it? Really.
What
Anyway,
did you make of it, JK, of the portrayal of 9/11 then?
yeah, yeah,
I just believe that, like the whole film topic, it's like the news. It's a good way to influence mindsets and stuff, like music as well. And I think they've used film quite a lot over the years to portray certain topics or shine a light on certain people and stuff like that. And I think with that one there, I just believe it was a turning point of mankind. Before that, life was rosy and stuff. After that, a different shade of grey was over the world. And I
Yeah.
think that is the main. Life hasn't been this. It's the same, but it's not the same. If you understand what I'm saying, since
Yeah.
that time.
Have you watched the one with Dev Patel in it, Hotel Mumbai, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I haven't seen
I
that
know.
one yet. What's
I
that
know.
like? Is any good, that one?
I've
Yes,
not seen it. No, okay.
No, I've not seen it yet. Like, it was like about 2-3 years ago, something, that one. But like, to be honest, I didn't even know about the incident that much. I've not seen the World Trade Center one with Nicolas Cage.
yeah.
I can't even think of many ones about 9/11, to be honest.
No, I haven't, but I watched that one, strangely enough, and I thought, they were very, very, very brave fellas, very brave,
The
and
thing
that's
that
the
kicked
one.
it all off was the original Kuwait thing. If they wouldn't have went into Kuwait, but the Saudis asked them to come into Kuwait, to Kuwait, didn't they? Like, the Saudis wanted them to come in, and Bin Laden got a cob on because they put their boots on Saudi soil, didn't he? But the Saudis asked them in, didn't they, in
Well,
1990?
you've got to be honestly, you've got to look at the American role in that.
Mm.
America hold the Saudis. They've got them in the palm of their hand, the Saudis. And that's why you've got the likes of Iran who, don't like that. They
Well, Bin
don't like
Laden
that.
had been to Afghanistan, hadn't he? And he wanted to come back to Kuwait and get rid of Saddam out of Kuwait with the Mujahideen from
But you know
Afghanistan.
what? Have you any
But
idea why?
The Saudi royals said no, they'll get the Americans.
Lee, God, blimey. Lee, you've got to understand the background of Kuwait,
No, I know.
It's no use just going on about films or anything. This is what I mean about how it's good what JK said about spinning. If you watch a film, it's how they want you to portray history, facts, and they're wrong. It's like a film came out about the Enigma machine, and it was the British, but the Americans, they decided to, oh no, it was us. I hate that. I hate that about the Americans. They try to spin history. They do. They always try to spin it.
Mm.
And it was a big flop because people knew what had happened with the Enigma because it was we who got it, not the Americans. Not the Americans, but they try to spin everything in their favor. And that's so annoying. It really is
The thing
annoying.
about the Second World War is, like, there were 20 million deaths on the Russian side, and a lot of them were, most of them, I think, were
Well, they won the
civilian.
war, didn't it? No, according to the Americans, America, we won the war. And I'll never forget Obama's inauguration speech. never forget him when he came out and said it. And he mentioned the British. He said, since, you know, the British in 1776, when we, you know, defeated them. And went on to go on about, and we won the First World War, we won the Second World War. He couldn't even defeat fellas who went on bikes into war with a rifle on their backs, on a bike, wearing flip-flops. And who do you think they were?
Yeah.
They were the Afghans, and also they were the Vietnamese. He couldn't defeat them.
Did you
couldn't defeat them.
Yeah.
And they're going on, they're wanting to, you know, even today, they're wanting to take on China and Russia. Are they having a laugh? It really is annoying.
Did you see Oliver Stone's thing?
About JFK?
What was it? Something History of America. What was it? The true history.
Oliver Stone's brilliant.
Something like what was it called? Something History of America, something like The Untold or The Real History of America. Anyway, in it, it was showing, like, you know, and it was saying, you know, there was 500,000 American deaths in the Second World War, and there was more when you put together Britain and like Australia, and that there was more deaths of British and like Australia and British, New Zealand, Australia. Yeah. And we were in it longer. We were in it from the beginning. We were the only country in the Second World War right from the beginning, right till the end. Even, I mean, Russia was on Germany's side in the beginning. It was only when Hitler double-crossed Stalin.
Well, can I mention a few people here? Because Mark Simon's, great French films are The Ham, you know, which is the hate about riots in the ghetto of Paris. I've seen that. That's what I was trying to come out. I forgot the title. Thank you so much, Mark.
Oh, yeah.
And The Prophet, about a young petty criminal who gets put in prison with a Corsican drug cartel. Brilliant. Yes, I want to see that, actually. Have you seen that, Lee?
Yeah, I've seen both of them. Yeah, they're good, then.
Have you seen them, JK?
No. All right, I haven't. I might check them out, actually.
Yeah, check them out. But I haven't seen the one about, you know, The Prophet. I haven't seen that, but I will watch that. Thank you so much, Mark. I really, let me go on just. And he actually says, has anyone seen a superb Italian movie called Dogman, about a dog parlour owner who is coerced into a drug criminal act by the local bully? It won awards and was brilliant, so realistic, funny, tragic. Do you know what? I'll have a look at that. I like things like that. It's like the VIPs. It's like the VIPs. Mega cast, brilliant acting. And that's like tragic and funny at the same time. So I like films like that. Thank you so much, Mark. Dogman.
Dogman, eh? Sounds good, that, yeah. I like them type of Italians do them movies well, don't they? What Mark described there.
Yeah, they do. They do. And Norman says, the day of 9/11 I was at Anfield playing Boa Vista in the European Cup that night. Funny enough, I was lecturing and I was in my car and I had to go to this meeting, an important meeting, you know, educational meeting. So when I went through, I just parked the car up, went up the flight of stairs, and strangely enough, there was no one around. I thought, strange this, you know. And when I walks into this meeting, they're all sitting around the television. And they were looking at 9/11 live. What gets me about 9/11, and I don't know about you two, JK and Lee. You know, I've seen all the documentaries, and I've noticed the clarity of the film, even on the day that of you know, where it was being beamed live. This is in 2001, if you know what I mean. 2001. The clarity of it. It was like as though they were pre-orchestrated. You know, to see this plane going in, or the two planes going in. And remember this firefighter, a firefighter talking to people in the street, New York, and you know, a little group of people, and he's talking. It was like a documentary they were making, and you just see him. Then he looks up, this firefighter, and then he goes like that because he's following the trajectory of the plane, and you just see it going in into the building, into one of the towers. And I thought, to me, that film crew could have been told to be there. And a firefighter of all people talking about firefighting. And I thought, there's something phony about that. But that's me. I don't know whether it's my mind.
Do you know where I was that day?
Hang on a minute. Let's just let me go through these. History is littered with individual who has his psychopathic ideals: Hitler, Bin Laden, Saddam Hussein. But you've got to look at Saddam Hussein. Does anybody believe in propaganda, by the way? Is propaganda spouted out?
Yeah, constantly.
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 So Saddam Hussein, it's like, I'll tell you, if Bashar Assad today, Bashar Assad, right? They wanted, the Americans always want regime change simply because they won't conform to their rules. They won't obey the Americans. Saddam Hussein, he wanted a new currency. He wanted to get away from the dollar because he said the dollar owns us. They don't own us.
Who put Saddam Hussein in power?
Gaddafi was the same. He wanted a new currency. Bashar Assad, he didn't want to bow down to the Americans. That's why they want to start a war with Iran today, because they won't. The likes of Bashar Assad, no. And don't forget that the Americans there now haven't been invited in, are stealing the Syrian oil. Syrian oil, they're stealing it every single day. Every day they're stealing their oil. The Americans, and no one owes anything. There's no accountability for these people, for America. And everybody, you know, the likes of us, we're hanging on to their coattails. We're no power now. We're not a world power anymore, this country.
Well,
But,
Saddam was useful, wasn't he? Saddam was useful.
I'm going to ask you two this now. Who blew up the Nord Stream? Who blew it up? You, Lee. Who blew it up?
I don't know nothing about that.
Who do you think, JK, blew up the Nord Stream?
The same people probably did 9/11.
Well, yeah, well, I know what you're saying about your thing there, but the Americans, and even Biden, you see him saying it. We'll get rid of the Nord Stream, and this is why the Germans are so cowardly. Olaf Scholz, he knew, and he was with him at the time that Biden, you know, in a press conference when Olaf Scholz was visiting America, and someone asked him, "How are you going to stop the Nord Stream?" He said, "We will. We'll stop it." And a woman named Victoria Nuland, horrible person there. But anyway, that's political. That's too much politics for me.
Yep.
You know, so the likes of Saddam Hussein,
Now it did get
propaganda
off,
that man,
didn't it? All of a sudden.
propaganda that everybody, Bashar Assad, and people are supposed to believe it.
Do you guys remember? I love Frank's passion on these topics because he knows it's the truth, and you can see him when it's the truth. People have this energy about them, you know. And do you remember Back to the Future, the film? Okay, do you remember Biff, the American big guy bully?
Yeah.
And in that film as well, at the end, the terrorists came, and there was 9/11 written on the board there as well, and it was just portraying the future. And it's so simple. If you just look at that film, you see the American bully against I always believe that when you look at the history of life, America was just used by the Europeans to be the bully of the world.
Yes.
So they have no connection to it. They've got nothing, you know, and they have no connection to that land. They're thinking, you know what, we'll be the Biff of Back to the Future for the whole world from this land. You know, and we've seen it, you know, throughout all of history. That's all they've done. Biff from Back to the Future tactics on everyone, you know, and also going back to the 1800s where Pike wrote there'd be 3 wars: the first one, the second one, and the third one. And the third one sort of started at that time of 9/11. That final chapter of having the third war between 2 sets of groups who we can see, you know, and it's so planned, it's corny, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's very corny. Where was you, Lee, at that day when it happened?
I was in the pub with my brother.
Okay.
We were in the pub in town, Liverpool. And then later on in the day, we went back to Bootle. And it was all. I remember, like, when we were in the pub in town, some bloke come in and went, "America's been bombed." And I went, "Bombed?" I said it was a plane. They flew a plane into a building. Well, I was having a pint in town, because I'd not long moved into this flat. I'd only lived in this flat about.
Well, there is, you know, you've got to look at these incidents. The likes of, for example, there's 3 incidents that I remember. You know, you just can't get. You know exactly what you were doing. And those 3 incidents are, I was very young, and the JFK assassination. Right, I'll just leave it like that. The other one was the John Lennon, and he was assassinated, that man. He was assassinated him by that Chapman. And then the other one was the 9/11. You remember those? I always remember those. And what I was doing at the time, from a young man in '63, very young, to you know, to 2001, and the likes of John Lennon in 1980. I was asleep and someone woke me up. I was down in London doing some work, lecturing. I was there. Anyway, it was horrible. It was horrible because someone woke me up and went, see, a few days or couple of weeks before, we were talking. I was in the arts centre where we used to congregate and have a drink, you know, after work. And we were talking about Lennon with his new album and his new song, Woman. Woman just came out and I went into the charts, and I was brilliant, you know, for him finally to come out and, you know, do something, because he became a house husband. And we were talking about that. Then when I was woken up, and I remember exactly what I said as well. And someone woke me up. He said, "Frank," he said, "I've got some terrible news." I said, "What? What's up?" You know, the way I've started, this is at 7:30 in the morning. He said, John Lennon's dead. And do you know what my words were? Do you know what I said? He must have gone out with a bang. That's what I said. And obviously he did. I didn't mean like a bang, like it. And he did, he was shot dead. Lennon. So I remember that time. And the 2011, as I said, I was going to a meeting. I was 9/11. I was going to a meeting in 2001. And
I remember I had the book from the library about 30 years ago, Who Killed John Lennon? And it put forward the proposition that Chapman might have been trained as a killer many years before, and then something set him off, or he just killed Lennon because he decided, he wanted to kill someone, but he had been trained as a killer many years before. He was sort of like a sleeper sort of thing, like.
Yeah. Here's a good one. And it's Mark Simon's. The Federal Reserve controls America and a private bank controlled by the usual suspect, the families who were behind and backed revolutions in Russia, France, and the USA. The US itself, even J.P. Morgan was a puppet. Yes. The WEF, they control everything. These are money men. And they control. I forget who it was. I was listening to this fella, and he shocked me. I think it was the time Trump was fighting for the presidency. When he first got in, and there was a fella. I forget who he was, and he said, "I'll tell you what they were talking about. Actually, I'll tell you what they were talking about." They were talking about UAPs, UFOs, as we know them. They were talking about that. And he said, well, why, the fellow said, well, why doesn't a president come out and say, yeah, I've come out and just say that there are some or there are not? If you know what I mean. He said, believe me, there are no UFOs or whatever.
Yeah.
And he said that, and he said, look, this fella said, look, America is so full of secrets, they will not allow a president near them. Because here's what he said. He said, a president has only got a job for 8 years at the most. That's it. Finished, So they won't allow them anything. They won't allow them any of these like secrets or whatever. He says, and another thing, he said, the pyramids that we know of, not the pyramids in Giza or what, I'm not talking about them type of pyramids. He said, you've got someone right at the top. He said, and it filters down to the president. So the 7 layers before it gets to the president of people who control America and wanting to control the world. Never forget that, what he said. Never forget that, because as I said about UFOs, because one of his promises, Trump's promises, was to clear the swamp and to be told the truth. Let's make America great again. That was his thing, Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And this is how this conversation came about with this fella. Forget who it was. But that's what he said. He said he said before it gets to the president, they know nothing. Mm-hmm. That's what he said. They know nothing. They're just told what to say and what to do. That's what this fella said. And it's been proved. It's been proved with this. Joe Biden. Good God.
If that's the best America can offer, they're in trouble. At the end of the day, I was having the same discussion with this guy from India. I was telling him, I was like, bro, politicians are actors.
Yeah.
He was so deluded, he's not accepting what I was telling him. I was like, bro, look at the world. No one gives a damn about no one. We're at that level now. And I'm thinking, do you think your president gives a damn about you? You know, and he still would not question that theory of following a certain character in your life to get something you're not going to get. These guys think they're going to get rich after following a president or a prime minister, for example. Bro, your life is going to get more expensive each year, like it or not. You know, it's just amazing how deluded the humanity is in 2023, you know, 2024 now, actually. It's got worse. And India, for example, they've overpopulated that country to get them in that political state they're in now. Where you tell people, bro, prime ministers and presidents are actors, and they're like, no. They're loving them blindly. And that's the level they need the people at to have more control over them, you know, and it's really embarrassing, you know. And look at the way America's done it for years as well, the same sort of control over the people, you know. It's like as soon as 9/11 happened, Bush was there with the flag saying, shouting, oh, we're going to do it for the land and stuff. And all the guys are shouting, yeah, yeah. They don't know what they were shouting, yeah, yeah, for. They were just shouting it because it was 2 days after what happened. And they were just shouting, yeah, yeah, we're going to do it for America. And these guys don't know. There's more Americans against the theory of what actually happened, what they tell us what's happened, than they are for against it. And that's when you know there's something wrong here. When their own people say, hey, they're white American people, they're like, hey, yo, we're not with that way. It never happened like that, you know?
Well, that Modi, you know, India's president, I think he's great. He stands for no nonsense either. From the Americans, he doesn't stand any nonsense. And there's a lad, I think he's absolutely brilliant in America, and he's running for the presidency. And I can't pronounce his Vivek. Absolutely brilliant, him. He takes no nonsense, and he's calling them out all the time. The likes of that Nikki Haley, the likes of that what a horrible lying woman that she's coming out and saying lies about Russia. She said when you know they've come out and said, and this is what she said the other night. She said they're going on to take Poland and Lithuania, and you know, and all these plans. She's lying. She's lying through her teeth. That woman lying, and you know what's his name? Vivek. Anyway, he annihilated her. He annihilated, and they won her. The neocons won her as president. She's a horrible. She's a war hawk. She caused wars all over the place.
But I remember back in the days, bro, when we had a little conversation about the India situation of 20% of the richest, 80% of slave mentality. And these guys, Modi and the guy in America, they come from that 20%, bro.
Oh, I know they do.
They come from that.
And that.
So in life, I think I can go on camera and start smiling. He's a straightforward guy, that guy in America. I've seen him a few times and stuff. But at the end of the day, the bigger picture, that guy there is not going to make the New Yorkers and California people's lives cheaper. Because that's what it all boils down to. When you really, really, really look at everything, they want an excuse to make your life more expensive, that you are brain dead because you can't afford to live the way you need to. And they use these politicians to pop up on TV for a few years. Where are all the people in the American government that were around at 9/11? Rice, all of them, they vanished. You know, David Cameron. You don't see David Cameron no more. You know, he's like, forget about it. He's a pro.
I've seen him in it. You know, there was a select committee, and he was in there, and he was annihilated by, you know, the people talking to him, the MPs, and he went on meltdown. And that was only 48 hours ago. What a prat. What a prat. He sorted Gaddafi out of. Gaddafi was a good man to his people and the propaganda. And, you know, they even said, take out, I believe that America wants to destroy Europe, which they're doing at the moment, by the way. And their thing was, let's flood Europe with migrants from Africa and the Middle East. It's happening. It's happening. Let's destroy Europe. This is America, by the way. This is America, and this is what they're doing. And
America and another country.
They're just horrible. Anyway, let's. Mark Simon says, anyone seen the Obama produced film on Netflix called "Leave the World Alone"? Yet I've watched it, and it's full of wokeism, full of it. Michelle Obama and Obama producing it, and I went like that. Whoa. Whoa! I knew at school, I didn't know that they produced it until the end. I would never have watched it. Ever have watched it. Yeah, watched it. And very good actors as well. Very good actors. In the
cringe now, Frank. As soon as you know they produced it, you know straight away it's cringe.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know?
And I was like this, you know, watch it. I had to watch till the end. I had to watch it to the end. And when I seen it, do you know what? I don't know. Let's see what he says here, Ma. This film is filled with occultic symbols, numbers, references, and is produced by a turned President Barack Obama and his total propaganda and social programming on the West's demise. Yes. Yes. Do you know, can I ask you, we'll finish in a minute. I'm awfully sorry. Anyway, I'm sorry about this.
No, I love the passion, bro. You know, I think humans need more people like who are just clear in the head, got a bit of passion in them to see what life is for what it really is, you know. I think we've been deluded enough now in the last years with TV, news and stuff like this. And I'm thinking, why do people on road don't smile no more? It's because of what they've allowed to happen in the last 20, 30, 40 years, you know? Yeah. People don't smile like they used to, you know? It's just like, why?
See, it's everything against everything. It's propaganda versus truth. It's narrative as well. If you go along with the narrative of what's happening in the world today, you're finished. You know, it's no use talking to people if you follow the narrative. And the Western narrative is a cowardly narrative, to be honest. And it comes from, I'm not being funny here, but it comes from, as Mark says, Mark Simons, it comes from these people who want you to believe everything that they're saying, who's bad and who's good. And you've only got to look today. I'm going to ask you, JK, this and you, Lee. Has the Chinese ever done anything to you personally?
Never.
What about you, Lee?
No.
Well, that was a quick answer. I'm talking about the country, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm just I'm thinking in history.
No, never mind that. Have they ever done anything to you?
No.
Right, JK says no as well. Right. The Chinese have never invaded this country. And I don't think that they ever went across to invade America either. I'm sure of it. Russia have never done it either. Russia have never invaded, if you know what I mean. And I was talking to some, and he, oh, he went, well, what about, do you know what he said to me? These are the bloody idiots that I have to contend with sometimes, honest to God. Do you know what he said to me? He said they invaded Germany. I said, when? He went, you know, in the war. And of course, is this fella for real? They invaded Germany in the war. I said, I just went, listen, fella, I'm not talking to you anymore. That's what he said.
Who's he getting mixed up with?
And you know, these are the people who believe everything that's put in front of them and on the news. And that the people, as we all know, who run the news are these people who are at the top of the pyramid.
Well, the Mongols invaded Europe, but the Mongols invaded China as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
the Mongols invaded China before they invaded Europe.
Yeah.
The Moors invaded Europe. The Ottomans invaded Europe.
But there was just 2 countries they ever invaded. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We invaded, you know, the Crimea, which is Russian. Us, because we wanted Sevastopol, because that was the main place for East and Western. That was the main place there to get from East to West in the trade. This is what's going on today about trade, especially with the Houthis, you know, stopping shipping, because they're stopping shipping simply because of all the arms and everything else that are going to Israel. I'm going to say this now, and I don't give a toss what people think anymore. I could get banned. They're committing genocide. They're committing genocide on a people, poor people. And they're coming out with such, I'm going to say this word, bollocks. The Israelis, that Reagan, he's coming out with horrible things, saying, you know, where's that Kirby? You know, in the press conference, the White House press conference, he said there's no, I can't see any evidence that genocide is being committed. You know, there's no evidence there. And no one, not one journalist said, well, this film, I mean, you ever seen, they just leave it at that. They just leave it at that. Because they're justifying, they're trying to justify America giving everything, and the British, by the way, and the British, giving everything to Israel. And there you have warships now who are they just bombed Yemen 48 hours ago. Bombed Yemen. That's already been obliterated by the Saudis under American control. But the Saudis now, they gave them the airspace to go and bomb. And that surprised me because Saudis in this thing called BRICS. And that surprised me that they allowed their airspace to go and bomb Yemen. Yemen, that's already, it's a rubble. I hate saying it, but it's a rubble of a country because of
That's been for a long time, hasn't it? That's been for a long time.
And do you know why? Do you know why they gave them the airspace? I couldn't believe it when I listened. They were promised, this is true, they were promised that they could have and hold, I don't know when, the World Cup. Would you believe that? And that's why that's why the Saudis allowed them to use the airspace to go and bomb. And don't forget that the Saudis have been at war with the Houthis, with Yemen for years. But you can't defeat those Houthis. I'm awfully sorry that it's come from this. And as Mark Simon says, the Illuminati or high-level Freemasons use the motto, Ordo. Yeah. From chaos. You're right there.
Yeah, all right.
Know all about that. and controlled through NGOs, which was the fascist ideal of Mussolini, which was private and government together. Yeah. One of my great uncles fought with the partisans in Italy, you know, against Mussolini in the mountains, fighting against the fascists. Listen, boys, I'm sorry to go on a rant.
No, bro. I think what you're saying is fact, and it shows the passion of a man who sees the light in a different way than other people see it. You know, I think it's good to see that that you have a knowledge of what's real. You know, and that is worth more when you look at the people and state of mind of the humanity now. 9 from 10 are not there. I'm sorry to say that, but they're not there. You know, and. Respect to you, bro.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really do, JK. But what we do like is films and the passion of Liverpool Football Club, which is absolutely amazing. It is. Do you know what I watch? I'm being honest before I finish. You know, getting away from it. I always call it escapism. Just to escape from everything that's going on. And I've been like that for years, you know, going in lectures and whatever. Horror films. I've always watched the horror film, you know, it's totally, you know, getting away from everything that's going on. So I've always watched horror films just for escapism. That's all.
I've never watched a horror film.
No, but that's me, just to escape, because I think it's what it is. It's the horrors of the world. It's the horrors of the world going on, if you know what I mean. So I watch these, and I just say, well, that is going on. You know, these particular things. But I won't watch them on the night, you know. We'll go to bed on my own. Nightmares and everything. Oh.
I used to work in a video shop when I was younger and stuff, and I seen Freddy Krueger's face. I'm like, I said, who the hell watch a film with that guy in there? That's why I don't watch it. Simple as.
You know, but it's just for escapism, you know. That's all that I watch it for. All right, JK, staying with you then. We'll get straight to Lee then. We'll finish. What kind of film do you like? You know, what kind of film, like, you know, if it's coming out and you go, oh, I can't wait to see that.
It depends on the director.
Yeah.
Like, you got, like for me, Scorsese is my favorite. You're on about Oliver Stone. He's made a few good films as well.
Brilliant.
And so, like for me, like you were saying, horror films are your go-to. For me, it's like the Donnie Brasco, Goodfellas type of films are my go-to type of films. You know, you got Casino, even Meet the Parents. Have you seen that?
Yes.
All of them. And what I wanted to say about Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
And Joe and Al Pacino, what it is with them two guys is they have this burning energy inside of them, and what it is through the acting, you see that energy, and like Dustin Hoffman in the Meet the Parents films, he's always like fidgety, you know, and you can see that in his character because they so want to do the role. It's like when you watch it, it's like wow, Dustin Hoffman in them films is like amazing.
Do you know what, Rich, you mentioned Dustin Hoffman, and it wasn't a box office hit, or I don't think anyone's ever seen it, and it was brilliant. It was a cracking little film, and with Emma Thompson, Dustin Hoffman and Emma Thompson, Last Chance, Harvey. That's what it was called, Last Chance, and it's a sort of a romantic type of film, set here, you know, set in London. Obviously, but it was brilliant. I thought, you know, that this is what kind of films I like. Me, believe it or not, I like. I watched. I recommended just before Christmas to watch a film which is called The Holiday with Jack Black, Jude Law, Cameron Diaz. You know, so you know, because it's a nice story. It's a nice gentle story. It is. It's just a nice gentle story. I like those type of films. I like the likes of a film called 222. That's what, you know, the time 222, and it's really good, and it's clever. It's a clever film, and they're the type of films I like, and also survival films. Survival, you know, like in the desert. If you say you know, like the Phoenix, James Stewart and Richard Attenborough, the Flight of the Phoenix. You know, where they crash in the desert, and it's a battle of survival in the desert. You know, this plane with the likes of James Stewart and Richard Attenborough, great cast, and the likes of that, the likes of The Hill as well. You know, going back to the '60s with Sean Connery, absolutely brilliant film. Ian Henry, absolutely brilliant. But anyway, lads, I'm awfully sorry. Uh, I'm awfully sorry about today. It went off. It went on to a little bit about football. Then it went on to you know, from films. That is, went on to you know, me ranting about today, and also, but yeah, let's see. We'll finish on this. And you must have seen this. And it's watched The Escape from New York last night from 1982. What a film! Some people call John Carpenter a poor man's Hitchcock, but all his 80s output was brilliant. Halloween, The Thing, Christine, The Dog, They Live. They Live is absolute. I was trying to think of that. Thank you, Mark. They Live. Watch it. It's brilliant. And there's there's like a little sub thing that try and watch it, Lee. Try and watch it, JK. It's called They Live, and it's a John Carpenter film. But I agree with Mark there, and there are some very, very good things that he did. Halloween, absolutely brilliant. The Thing, absolutely brilliant. Christine, about a car, a haunted car, great. The Fog, very good. The Fog, the original Fog, that is. And They Live, but try and watch They Live. Fantastic. There's a story behind the story, if you like. So what's your kind of genre, Lee? And we'll finish on that, of films.
I like Cold War spy films. Cold War films are good.
Well, what's the best one you've seen? And I'll give you mine. The Man Who Came In From the Cold.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, Michael Caine ones. Or, there's loads, isn't there? Really, like there's an awful lot of them.
I'll tell you what one to watch, a modern day one, and I think it's the best bit of acting by this particular. I love this fella. I think he's a great actor, by the way. And it's called The Courier, and it's a true story, JK.
Okay.
And it's bang on. Believe you me, it's bang on. And it's called The Courier, and it's Benedict Cumberbatch. Absolutely brilliant in it. He should have got an Oscar. He should have got an Oscar.
I might have seen that because I've seen one with him fairly recently in the last few years. It might have been that one, but I did see one with him.
It only came out last year, Lee.
Right, then it's not that, because the one I seen was about 3 years ago.
The Courier.
Okay.
Where he's coerced into spying this particular fella. Because, you know, he's coerced into spying. He doesn't realise that he's going to do it, by the way. It's brilliant. JK, have you ever heard of the Courier? With
I've
Benedict
never heard of it,
Cumberbatch?
but I'll check it. Thanks, Mark. Yeah.
You get onto it. And I know that you like true films. And believe you me, JK, it's spot on.
Okay. Sorted.
Benedict Cumberbatch, the Courier. And you, JK.
Okay.
So listen, boys. Final thoughts tonight on, so I mentioned it before, is, hang on a minute. Mark Simon, The Grey with Liam Neeson is a great survivor. Yes, I've seen it several times. It's absolutely brilliant. The Grey. Have you seen that, Lee?
Yeah, very good.
Have you seen it, JK?
No, I haven't, no.
Oh, watch it, Lee. Watch it. I mean, JK, watch it.
Okay.
It's really, really good. It's about a fella who's going through emotional turmoil in his own mind, if you know what I mean. And that's all I'll say about it. But watch it. The Grey. It's a fantastic film. Thank you, Mark Simons, for all your brilliant comments. Thank you, Norman, everybody who's commented. Thank you so much. And I'll leave you with this, right, JK, that's to you. Someone mentioned, I think it was Norman, I hope it's foggy tonight for the Upper Tyneside, for Manchester City. What do you think?
Joe Linton's out. He's probably there. He's the only one in. Yeah, he's out for 6 weeks, that guy. So they're down to the level. So injury-wise, they got a lot of injuries. So can they get a team out that's going to not let City score, or where they can get a draw or something? I can't see it, but I hope so. You know what I'm saying? So a draw's good. A draw is good.
Well, there's Ireland, isn't he? He's out, they reckon, until next month or whatever. You know what I mean? And if he's out, and the likes of, say, Rodri, for example, I don't think that Kevin De Bruyne's been on. And Kevin De Bruyne's getting on, you know. He's about 32, 33 or something like that. He's getting on, as Kevin. And, they're not as powerful as they were, Man City.
Yeah, but he's had a rest now, I think. De Bruyne.
Say that again.
He's had a long rest now, De Bruyne. A good 6 months, first time in years, where he hasn't played football. And maybe he's rejuvenated. So, like for me, see Gundogan, the guy's 31 or something. He's not fast, he's not strong, but that guy can play football. And I think certain guys, maybe they're not physically 100%, but because of their brain, they can get over that sort of thing, you know, in a match.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And when you mentioned Erdogan,
Gundogan, yeah.
Erdogan, yeah. Getting mixed up with the Turkish president anyway.
That's the politics talk.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But when he went, I think City slipped. They don't half miss him.
Yeah.
They don't half miss him. So, but I think that, I don't know about you, Lee, but if you're a neutral, who would you say that are there and really going strong? What team would you look at if you were a neutral, if you were looking at football today?
Villa?
I'd say Liverpool. If I was a neutral, I'd just go, there's Liverpool making a mark again. That's what I'd say. And I'm not being biased, by the way. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying, there's Liverpool on the way back. And they can only get better. That's me saying it as a neutral. I don't think that there's any other team.
Score-wise, we are, but display-wise, we're inconsistent. We play real good or okay. It's not always real good, you know. That's the only. But point-wise, we're smashing it, and like at the end of the day, it's always about the points.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, And that's what it's all about, isn't it, really? I'm just amazed up that we've got this weekend's off.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's God, that is.
You know,
Did us a
just
favor
like,
right there.
it's just like, you know, it's to give us this relief of the tempo. And when you're on Tuesday, aren't you, with me and George and Lee and
Yeah, for sure.
suppose Darryl. What do you think of Darryl? He's good, Darryl, isn't he?
I hope he's feeling better. Yeah, Daryl, top guy. He's so funny.
Yeah. He's got COVID. He says,
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
got
he was
COVID.
saying that.
Got COVID for the fourth time. How can you catch COVID for the fourth time? Oh, come on, give me a break.
He should be playing cricket for England.
But he's a sweetheart. So we're back on Tuesday, boys.
Okay, mate.
For
Is
sure.
that all right? I won't be Zoom on next Saturday because Valley's coming over next Saturday.
Sorted.
She's
Enjoy.
coming over, so we have to pick her up at the airport and that. So I'm making a welcome here in Liverpool. So, boys, thank you so much. As I said again, I apologise for the rant about things, but it's been a mixture of everything, hasn't it? You know, to be honest, films, TV series. But try and watch JK and you as well, Lee. Spotless.
Sure.
Yeah.
Please go and watch it. It's a.
I've made a mental note of a few things this morning. The few
what's
things.
that? I'll tell you for why. I put it on, and I watched every episode. That's how good it was. I watched the first one, but it was in the night, you know, and I thought, I'm going to watch all these, but I won't watch them now because, you know, it'll be like 5 o'clock in the morning by the time. So anyway, I put it on the next day, and I watched it right through. There's another one, the first series of Ozark. I think that was brilliant as well.
Wow. Yeah.
Jason Bateman.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
top.
Have you seen that, JK?
Yeah, Ozark was real good.
Yeah, well, the thing is as well about Ozark, if I say Spotless, it's not the same, but it's the same, like,
Energy.
you know, you want to watch it, put it that way.
What about How I Met Your Mother? Have you seen that?
No.
You got to, Frank, you got to watch How I Met Your Mother. It's a series. It's weird. I love the American sitcoms. They're so.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say stupid. They're just good. Like when you want to watch, go to is How I Met Your Mother. When I want to watch it, want to watch something, How I Met Your Mother. Really, you got to watch it.
Yeah. I'll have a look at that. I will. I'll have a look at it because I like American sitcoms. I really do. Because I just like a good laugh as well. I like a good laugh. You know, did you ever see Uncle Buck with John Candy?
Oh, John Candy, yeah.
It's really good, you know. I know John Candy's well passed on, but it's a really good film, and it's well worth having a look. Uncle Buck. Have you seen it, Lee?
No, I haven't seen it.
No.
It's the classic.
Do you know? Did you ever watch Trains, Planes, and Automobiles?
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah.
Well, if you like that, you'd like this, Uncle Buck, because John Candy was a fantastic actor. Anyway, Mark Simon says, God bless everyone. All the Liverpool family. Great conversation for a Saturday from sunny Gibraltar. See you Tuesday. I didn't know it. He's been listening in from Gibraltar.
Nice.
Incredible, isn't it? We're international, boys. We're international.
Yo. When's the album coming out?
Anyway, JK, see you Tuesday.
Sound, bros. Sound.
All right,
Take care,
Dave.
Lee, bro.
See you, Jay. See you Tuesday, mate.
Thanks very much, and I'm so sorry again. Lee, I'll be honest with you because I can tell you now. Lee woke me up. I was asleep. And he won't wait to phone me.
And last week it was the other way around.
So, Lee said, good's enough. He said, go make yourself a cup of tea and see it. And this, the cup of tea, amazing. I've been drinking it. And it's just, thank you, JK, for hanging on, and, for the pod. And thank you, Lee, for the input. And it's been fun. It's been good. And I'll see you on the pair of yous on Tuesday for the football show. Is that okay?
Down, bro.
And thank you to everybody out there. Thank you so much for your contribution. Mark Simon's there all the way from Gibraltar. Thank you so much. And the rest of the lads and girls and whoever. And look, Mark Simon says, Uncle Buck is comedy genius. It is, So try
I'm sure
and
I'll get to see it one day. Sure I'll get to see it. I've just never come across it. Just haven't come across it so far.
Lee, you'll be sitting on that chair laughing your head off. And do you know what, JK, as well? It's like it's about like bullying, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, just watch it. It's brilliant. As Mark says, Uncle Buck is comedy genius. It's good. It's really good. And it's just for me to say, thank you so much. Love you all, and see you all on Tuesday. Thank you so much, boys. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Peace.